on. All right, we will call the regularly scheduled Sanitary District meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Jim Zarnik,
Present.
John Kennedy,
Here.
Kim Kroll,
Here.
John Schaefer,
Here.
Patricia Sims-Sirmurchek,
Here.
Tom Nagel,
Here.
Joe Wizawati,
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Okay, and after roll call being said, I'd like to officially welcome the three newest members to the board, Mr. John Schaefer, Jim Zarnak, and John Kennedy.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Fasten your seatbelts. All righty, election of officers. We do that every January, so I will entertain a motion for president.
I would like to nominate Patty Sims-Smirchek for president.
Second.
All right, do I hear any other nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Also, I will entertain a motion for vice president, and I'd personally like to nominate Kim Kroll.
Second.
Do I hear any other nominations for any other members? All right, nomination floor is closed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, motion carries. Congratulations, Kim.
Congratulations to you.
All righty, approval of minutes. We have the December regularly scheduled meeting minutes before us. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. All righty, sewer and landscape credits. These do come before us in the spring and the fall. If there's any questions, we would be glad to answer them. I know Mr. Zarnak did question them in the past, but again, in a nutshell, this is relative to water that is consumed by the residents that we have full knowledge is not going into our wastewater treatment plant, because we do pay for everything that is metered into Schererville. This is water that is basically outside, either landscaping, or if you read 3 of the other letters, you'll found that they were outside hose faucet issues. This month was the grandchild month, apparently. So, so we do, as a courtesy to our residents, we do not charge them the wastewater. However, when they do have issues like this, they do have to pay for water because they do consume the water. So the total of the sewer and landscape credits is $725.76. I'll entertain a motion to approve those credits.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, motion to terminate professional service agreement with attorney Angela Jones. To the best of my knowledge, Angela did not provide any professional services for this board, but as a, basically a procedure, we will make the motion, we will entertain a motion to terminate the professional service agreement with attorney Jones.
I'll make the motion.
Any second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
I would like to abstain from that vote, please, for the record. I'm going to abstain.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Motion to approve professional service agreement with Sunder Dalton to serve as a financial advisor for the sanitary district. This motion is put on our agenda just as a footnote to the board members. We currently, and in the past, have used Baker Tilly. We do not use Sender. The clerk treasurer's office uses Sender, or Baker Tilly, and we've had a continued relationship with Baker Tilly. So
Did we get a proposal from Baker Tilly?
we did. We did just to, Baker Tilly's stated that they sent it to us a while ago. It has not appeared before our board. I just received an emailed copy this evening. I'm actually on my way driving here, the proposal from Baker Tilly. So this was placed on our agenda, not at our request. So we can go ahead and with this motion, I would like to make a recommendation that we take this under advisement and take no action at this time until we get our proposal from Baker Tilly and we have a chance to review same.
I make a motion to table the professional service agreement with Sender Dalton at this time.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
One discussion. With this proposal, even if we do receive one from Baker Tilly, my concern is this is an hourly with no not to exceed, and it opens us up to exposure because, I don't know how many of these items, 1 through 6, that they're proposing to do. And so I've seen it where it's a master service agreement and we do task orders for each of the items, because I don't know how much they're gonna bill, who will be verifying the billing, but I think it benefit for this board to have some sort of limit, whether it's 25,000, 50,000, whatever the board decides. It's an hourly with no,
Yeah, it's pretty wide open.
pretty wide open. And so it's just a discussion point. I think we might want to have them either do a master service agreement with task orders for their options, or some sort of just a limit where, and then they can come back and amend it. If they've used all their hours and they're, based on what they charge, they can always come back and get an amendment and we could add on. I just think it just limits our exposure.
Right, and one of my questions was, are they strictly gonna be a bond counsel, or are they going to be, talked about rate studies and things like that? So that was a little bit of the.
And they do all of the above. When we recently had a rate increase, they assisted us with that. But your point is very valid, and we really, in fairness to, and again, all of us sit here as stewards of the taxpayer money, ours included. All of us live in St. John. This isn't about us, it isn't about the town council, it's about the residents, and we have to do what's best for them. And it is best to have 2 separate proposals, and let's take a look at it and see what serves this board best.
Well, I'm familiar with Sender. They do a very good work, and I think they represent the town council, so
They do.
having some continuity between the town council and our departments, I think is a valuable asset. My concern with it was just there was no limit set on the
Okay.
hourly, so.
And that's something that I could reach out to them and get that
Okay.
done as far, in terms of task orders assigned by the
Yeah.
district itself.
Yeah, because I know there's some just general on-call, so I mean, a
Right.
task order would be first you're on-call, and it
Right.
would be for general services. But if and it's whatever,
We
this
have
board.
a
and
very
it's-
similar situation with Robinson Engineering, where we did not have that before. We were just constantly being billed hourly.
Yeah.
So we did go to a master agreement with Robinson to where now task orders are assigned.
Could I ask
Your
what the
point is taken.
relative value of their services would be? I mean, are we talking hundreds of thousands of dollars we would
No.
engage them for, or is this
No.
tens of thousands?
No, just, our exposure with them is very limited. We're very fortunate that we don't have to have quite a bit of financial consulting, because they do a good job. They keep us on track. They've handled our bond, they've done all sorts of things, so, yeah, we're not talking a large expense.
Okay, thank you.
All right, but we will take this under advisement. We will get the Baker Tilly proposal, and we will go from there.
I would also like to make sure that if we are going to bring this up on the agenda at the next meeting, that a representative be here from that firm, for both firms.
And they will be. All righty.
It's a
All right.
motion and a second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on basically taking this under advisement and tabling it for now. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, next on the agenda is the motion to approve the professional service agreement with Robinson Engineering for the sanitary district. Is there any questions or discussion necessary on that?
Madam President, the same situation I see here. It's an hourly, no not to exceed limit is set on here. Robinson does fine work. I've worked with them before. It's just, I just don't know what the exposure potentially can be. And again, that's how I've seen contracts, on-call contracts be in how I've seen them done. I know they've done differently, but I'm just concerned about the exposure.
Yeah. And to that point, again, the town does have a master agreement in place with Robinson. So any task orders assigned would be assigned by the sanitary district.
Oh, so this,
These are just the hourly rates under the professional service agreement that they would charge for if you wanted to consult with them, if you wanted to have them do specific work that's not really germane to a task order. So if there's, we are under a task order. Tom, if you want to kind of jump in and kind of explain how this is all working, and it's been working very well.
Right, so currently about 10 or 11 task orders with the town now. As far as the sanitary board goes, I mean, I would think there would obviously be a task order for I&I reduction. I think there would be a task order for possibility of eliminating a lift station on Acorn Drive. What you're looking at right there, Mr. Kennedy, is kind of like the miscellaneous cost if someone asks us to look at a problem in the community that was occurring occasionally that did not need a large study on it. So that's pretty much what it is. But just what you talked about, the master agreement with task orders, we've been doing that. We got about 11 or 12 with the town now. We want to get more, obviously, and that's how we would do it. And I would think that the first thing we need to talk about is the two projects I mentioned to you, was the I&I reduction and the Acorn Drive lift station elimination.
so just for my understanding, if, depending on the direction of this board, we approve these, what we're really approving is the hours, and then you would come in with a task order and would give your scope of work, your hourly rate,
Total cost.
and then this board would then approve it before you do any work.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the master agreement's about 34 pages long.
Okay.
The
No.
task order is about a page and a half long. Talks about the scope, the deliverables, the dates, the times, what we expect from you and what you expect from us.
Okay.
And that's how we stay accountable to you and you stay accountable to us too.
So each task would have a scope of services with a lump sum agreement not to exceed?
Yes, sir. Well, we would do a lump sum if the scope is defined. And if it wasn't, we working off the miscellaneous billing. But normally, we haven't worked off miscellaneous billing yet with the town. But if you get something that's not very well defined, and we just gotta start getting into it to figure out what the exact problem is, that's what it could be for a time and material job.
And many of our projects are combined projects with water and sanitary. You know, we have very few projects of our own, per se. They're usually a combined project. So those engineering costs will be shared as well.
That's a great point. I mean, we're gonna be a reduction in your cost on the Acorn Drive lift station project because we got a lot of work done with the water
Correct.
side of it too. It's not like we're gonna, all the topography and stuff is already done.
Yeah, water and sanitary are, you know, handshake.
Right.
Boards,
And that's another excellent point too. If you're doing a roadway by reconstructing a road and you gotta rehab the sewer and replace the water main, there's three entities that could pay for that. You've got the sewer side with you got the water main side with the water department, and you got the roadway side with the town.
Right.
So it kind of goes hand in hand, so.
Yeah, and years ago, when we did the gates and a lot of those big major expansions out there, we had Robinson, and that's exactly how everything worked, without any hiccups, and we're talking, you know, many, many, many acres out there.
I do have a question. Does Robinson currently do any private subdivision work? Private sector subdivision work?
Mr. Schaefer, I don't think we're doing it right now. We're so busy with municipal work, we stay away from it.
Yeah,
I would say that in the recession, we may have done some private development work, but I would say we're 95% public entity projects. I mean, and that's one of the things that kind of separates us, is that we don't have a developer relationship. Our relationship is with the community, so.
And that's why I wanted to make sure that if you did, that you would definitely make that, this board aware.
Yeah.
If you were working for a private subdivision or developer who is doing work inside the community here of St. John, at least the board
Yeah.
is aware of that, and then the board can decide if they need to seek a outside engineering to review that or not.
I could tell you wholeheartedly, we're not doing any development work with developers in Indiana now. It's just not occurring. There may be some longstanding relationships that we're still abiding to, but I can't remember the last development job we've done, to be honest with you, so.
Good. All righty, so I will entertain a motion to approve the professional service agreement with Robinson Engineering as engineers for the sanitary district.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, motion carries. All right, before you, you have the motion to approve the wastewater utility write-offs from the clerk treasurer's office in the amount of $483.40. And just a footnote to that, I hope you read the last lines. The clerk treasurer's office works diligently with water billing and also water collections. They always do a phenomenal job, and if they recommend something for write-off, it's because they have exhausted every single effort that they have at their disposal. So, and kudos to Beth's office, because those people in there consistently do a good job. So, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the write-off of $483.40.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All righty. Project reports and correspondences, project updates. Mr. Wayne, you can go first. Do you have anything?
I was just gonna ask Tom, are we going ahead on Acorn, the Station 6?
Yes, sir. We'll finish the analysis and get a report back to the board.
And then-
And what it'll consist of, if it can be done or not, and if it can be done, what are the costs and what are the timing on it. It's critical that we get the plans done in a hurry, so we get them in the Acorn Drive water main job, because obviously, once we repair the road, we don't want to
You don't wanna dig it up again?
dig it up again, right?
No.
So we're in a rush now, so.
How long does it take to get the permit to cross Bull Run? That's DNR or is that, item?
I couldn't tell you for sure how long it's gonna take, but our plan is that if we get the item permit to put the sanitary sewer in, we'll run it up to Bull Run and wait till we get the permit to cross it, so we're not disturbing the pavement on Acorn Drive. So in our mind, we got a plan of how it's gonna go
Good.
forward. We're not gonna rip up the road twice.
Good,
So,
thank you.
but it's a great point. I mean, the permit for crossing Bull Run may take longer. I gotta look into it more.
Okay, thank you.
Once you get the permits, what do you anticipate for the time scope for that project?
I would say that it will be a summer letting, well, no, a summer construction with a fall completion date
Okay.
on it.
You don't anticipate it going into next
No,
winter?
I do not. Only way it could, if the permit to cross Bull Run is delaying us.
Right, things out of your control.
It's the only way it could. The quantity of work being done, it could be done in 60 days.
Okay,
Right now, we're down at item right now. We should be able to go to bid in about 60 to 90 days, which put us into the end of spring, and we'll start construction in the summer, and it should take about 3 or 4 months to build.
and do you anticipate any work shortages? We ran into that last summer with all the projects that came up with the state opening up a lot of road construction money where, nobody could get any workers to work.
I couldn't tell you for sure what the climate's gonna be like when we go to bid on this.
You don't have that crystal ball, huh?
No, I don't. I don't.
I
But
think the
that's,
main focus will be is material shortages,
Yeah.
is what you're gonna be
and
faced with.
it's an excellent point, Mr. Schaefer. We're going with PVC water main for that reason. Ductile iron pipe, the lead time could be 6 months on it, or even greater than six months. And so I think the materials are not gonna be in shortage. We're gonna have PVC sanitary sewer, manholes, PVC water main valves. It's all gonna be standard off-the-shelf equipment. But, you know, with the supply chain issues, who knows? But the quicker we're out to bid, the faster we're gonna find out.
Okay.
So,
Well, at least we have somewhat of an answer when people challenge us as to why there might be a delay. We have answers, or we can make one up. Okay. Any other project updates, Tom, that we need to know about?
When we did the analysis on the water system to see how much water the town is purchasing from Sherrville, they also gave us the sewer flows they have. And just for a feel, you're spending about $1.2 million a year for sanitary sewage service from Sherrville. One of the things is we also looked at what your flows and how they were spiking during rains. We want to try to put some kind of analysis together so that you could see that maybe you'll do some work to eliminate the I&I and reduce your overall wastewater treatment plant fee. And we've got some data on that now, and we want to be able to pull it together and show it to you.
And I'll be honest with you, I've been on this board almost 20 years, and I&I has always been a problem, because there's so many parts of town that have old infrastructure and, you know, subject to infiltration. So if we can get a handle on that, that would be
Right.
absolutely wonderful, because we're paying a lot of money for rainwater to get sent.
You hit the nail on the head with that. And a lot of it is going to come down to working with the public works, who know the most of where the worst spots are.
Right.
We're not going to pretend like we know more than the gentlemen or the ladies who worked in public works for 20 years here. They know where the I&I problems are. We start focusing in those areas, getting the basin set up, and let you know what kind of costs can be due to the investigation and the possible cost for the repairs.
Okay.
When do you think that might start?
We can start planning on it now. It has to be, we need to meet with the Public Works Department. The gentleman from the Public Works is back there, and Mr. Davis too, on where they think the worst areas are, and then we could kind of do an assumption, or we could start figuring out how many lineal feet of sewers in that basin, how many manholes, and we want to do manhole inspections and smoke testing first, I would say. And then we can kind of quantify the problem, and then when was the short answer? In about 45 days, we should have an answer on where these basins are.
Okay.
Okay.
Good starting point.
Yeah, I do think we gotta go with the worst first. I mean, forget about the stuff that was built 10, 15 years ago. We want the good 50, 60-year-old subdivisions that are leaking up a storm. That's what we
Yeah.
want.
Exactly.
When was the last time we did an I&I removal project?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while, because it was very, very costly. Wayne, do you remember the last time we did that? Well, we did cameras, we did smoke, we did,
That's been a long time. Bob and
Everything.
Pete might know it. Do you know Bob?
You were here forever.
I'd say at least 18, 20 years.
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's been a while, because I know we did, like I say, cameras, they did smoke, they did a lot of things at their disposal and couldn't find it. I mean, they found little leaks, but not the big ones. And we don't know what's out there. It's gonna be a surprise, how many spots of infiltration that we
I
have.
mean, if it's been that long, then it seems like there could be some low-hanging fruit that we
I
could
think
take
you hit
care
the
of.
nail on the head with the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, and I was in Sauk Village when Robinson did their smoke testing, and let me tell you, I was very impressed with what they did. They were out doing the field work, and literally, you could watch from your computer monitor the progress. Each manhole is geotagged. Each sanitary sewer is photographed, so you can actually see the structure. They identify each defect, if there is any, for each manhole. It was amazing. They did fantastic work with respect to that. So and then they have a GPS layer, so we have all that data, in-house. So if any of you wanted to see it, you could say, gee, what's going on with this? And you would identify all the bad sections in town that need attention. So they did a really good job. Joe Sullivan was their lead engineer on that. Our fire calls went up through the roof because everyone thought their plumbing was on fire. It was interesting, yeah. It was very interesting. So I'm looking forward to that again.
Okay, and again, we're paying dearly to Sherrville for rainwater.
Oh, yeah.
So, and if you look at our docket, the largest item on the docket this time is our wastewater treatment bill.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Rich Setlak is watching this meeting, because this was a project near and dear to his heart.
Yes. Alrighty, Wayne, any other updates that we need to know about?
I know that Tom might know that Monix treatment plant, when it dumps, we're not sending as much water to Sherrville now when we go through.
That is correct.
Recycle, so we should save some money that way, because there's a lot of iron in our water, and that's a lot of heavy solids that would go down to Sherrville. They can get rid of the water, but we pay for the solids.
Right.
So I think we're gonna save some money. They got that rectified now where we can use that retention pond, right?
Right, correct.
So that should help us too. But we won't know that until, middle of the year, cost savings?
We could calculate what that's gonna be, what your cost savings is gonna be. It's based on the backwashes of the filters. And the filters have a finite quantity coming out of them for backwash. But I think that's a testament to the Public Works. There's two gentlemen in Public Works. One gentleman's right there, the other name is Mike. I forgot Mike's last name, Bokema.
This is Bob Valois, and Mike Boltman's not here.
Right. We went out there, we did a process of elimination of what's causing the backup, and those two guys dug in and they figured it out and they got it working. And one day I said, "How's it going?" It's like, it's solved. They solved the problem. I mean, so it's working out good. We could tell you what that cost savings would be based on the backwash runs. Because the only thing's going in there is the backwash. There's no other sewage going into it.
Right, yeah, it's not sewage, it's just,
So it
Water.
sounds like we're in pretty good shape.
oh, I think what's coming along, it just takes time.
Right, and for the new board members, if you have not ever been to the Sherrville Waste Treatment Plant, of which St. John owns 30% of that, I would strongly suggest the nickel tour. Wayne can arrange that. It is well worth it. It gives you a really good understanding, everything that we do and how they work over there. I was absolutely amazed when I saw their process out there.
I've
So-
been there.
Wait till a little warmer weather, but it is, and they're very welcoming out there.
Yeah.
One more thing, I think should dovetail that with a tour of the SCADA system.
I'd
Yeah.
like to.
So you can see the screens and how it's monitored, and I think that's really important to
The new
understand that too.
SCADA system,
Right. Mhm.
not the old one, the new one.
Is that all completed now?
It's just about, yeah, it's 98%
Yeah, we're-
complete.
Yeah.
But they've done a good job on it. I think Tom and his company is impressed by what they see.
Yeah, do we have a meeting scheduled with Matt Austin?
Friday.
Friday?
Friday, we're gonna be talking about the altitude valves. We're also gonna talk about the SCADA system. with
Okay,
them
perfect.
On it. So the report's submitted. It's in draft form. We need comments from Public Works. And if we get comments from Public Works, we'll be able to submit it to Austin. And then Austin could answer the questions that we got. So, and then there's nothing major. It's minor stuff, but it's in the contract and it should be adhered to. So,
Okay. All righty, thank you, Tom.
you're welcome.
All right. Hearing no other updates, we will move on to the payment of bills. I will entertain a motion for the approval for the sanitary district, the vouchers in the total amount of $16,749.59.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, motion carries. Next one, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the vouchers for the wastewater utility district in the amount of $189,062.71.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, motion carries. Any public comment? Hearing nothing from the public, I will entertain a motion.
Before the adjournment.
Yes, sir.
If I want to arrange to get a tour of the lift stations, and would I arrange that with?
You can see me, you can see the water operator, Bob or Mike, if they're busy. Want to do it on a Saturday or something, I've done that before, I've done it with Joe, I've done it with other people.
Okay.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just may go with you because it's been a while since I've been out there. So,
I'd like to get in on that action too.
yeah.
I just would say only two at a time.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't want a quorum. One more thing. In the SCADA review that we did of the contract, we photographed every site, and the report has photos, exterior and interior. So if we give you the report, you'll be able to get a good feel for what you're getting into. And I think if you see a couple of lift stations, you've seen them all. There's literally 15. So, but you can
Right.
take a look at it that way too. So when the report's done, we'll get you a copy of it, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Any other discussion? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.